Ooga fucking ooga cunts, welcome to whatever I'm eventually going to call this show. Tonight I'm here with Undoomed to talk about the whole COVID thing, the reactions to it, how the world went from, that beautiful, picturesque landscape that we used to enjoy to this.
Yeah.
Currently reporting from the room I'm locked up in for 2 weeks. How are you, Undoomed?
Well, I'm hanging in there. No COVID for me yet, so that's good.
I mean, as far as I know, I don't got it. I'm just being locked down for safety, I guess.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's better to not have it or not get it. It does not seem like a nice disease to have.
And see, from what I've heard, it can be fairly unobtrusive if you're one of those lucky people, right? You can catch it and not really show any symptoms, and I feel like that makes it a little bit scarier,
Well, there's that, and then there's the other half of it. You could get it, and you can feel like you're fucking drowning, and then you die. So
exactly, you can have people walking around just not showing any symptoms, spreading it, which I guess is true of any disease. But then, I could be infected right now, not showing any symptoms. I could show up, I don't know, to pick up my kid from her mom or something. And from what I've seen, kids seem to be fairly safe, but my kid's mom could end up dead, right?
Yeah. You don't want to chance it for sure if you can avoid it, because that is not a pretty way to go if you get that bad version of it. Holy shit! Feeling like you're drowning for a week and then die. Yeah, I can live without that.
Yeah, I'd like to avoid drowning for even a couple minutes. Never mind.
Yeah, for a week and then die. No thanks.
But I also feel like there have been a lot of people being, I don't know, unreasonable as a reaction to it. Like the hoarding and all that. The the people who are kind of looking at it as like the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's such a weird reaction from the world to close everything down on the one hand, and on the other hand, you have the ones that don't even believe it's real. It's crazy. Every fucking part of crazy is shown its face.
Yeah, that's the weird thing to me. I scroll through Facebook, like the people I know personally in my real life, and it's evenly split down the middle. There's no one near the center. It's fucking doomsayers, and this is bullshit. It's a hoax.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as those other diseases. You remember the flu? You remember the flu, guys?
Yeah. I mean, that's just the thing. Like, yeah, I know the flu kills a shitload of people and all that, but I don't look forward to feeling like I'm drowning for a week.
I mean, I've had the flu a good amount of times.
Yeah, that too. My immune system works fine with the flu. It's no problem. It's just that part bothers me. That scares me. The drowning part.
Yeah, the drowning part does seem really unpleasant. I've had basic pneumonia a couple times, right? Fluid in the lungs and shit like that. It doesn't feel good, but from the descriptions I'm hearing, this is worse. This is significantly more fluid in the lungs, right? I never felt like I was drowning. I felt like I had to cough some shit up.
Right. Yeah. That is not a pretty thing, but Yeah, I don't know. It's just so weird that people can't even agree on what the fuck this thing is. It's crazy. Like everything has to be turned into a conspiracy theory.
Well, yeah, that's we saw it a little bit with fuck, what was the last one? H1N1, I think.
Well, I haven't kept up with him, but go ahead.
We've seen these conspiracy theories every time an illness comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Every time there's something that spreads vastly and happens to spread from one of those areas where we don't necessarily trust the people.
Right.
But we always end up at a point where it's okay, this is a real fucking illness. We need to deal with it. We need to. Leaf, you're echoing like a motherfucker.
I'm gonna like.
But with this one, it's been going on for months now, and we're still not at a point where everyone's figured out. Yeah, you know what? This is a real thing. It's hitting people. There's like an objectively large amount of bodies piling up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they've turned it into a partisan thing, and this is like the stupidest thing to turn into a partisan thing. It's global, hitting every fucking country, every class and creed and whatever. So that seems pointless.
In the States, I can kind of see why it's become a partisan thing, because the leader of the right did kind of continue to call it a hoax, right?
Sure.
Yeah, he did kind of downplay it, and you know that ain't the way to handle this shit, you know?
No, he leaves much to be desired in that area.
Is it still echoing?
No, you're good now.
Okay, that was really weird because I have headphones in, so it shouldn't have echoed at all. Also, hi, Schmeckle.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Well, we did stream together whenever the last stream. There was a stream when AP was on, and I was there too.
Oh yeah. My memory ain't great, Leaf.
I know. Also, hello, Undoomed. I used to follow you on Twitter before I got banned.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, what happened? Yeah, say something bad?
I called someone a bitch nigga.
Okay. Oh, that'll do it.
To be fair, they were being that. They were yelling at someone for reading a tweet with the word nigga in it, and they said he couldn't do that because he was white. But he was literally just reading off some black person's tweet. So I said that the dude was being a bitch nigga. The dude wasn't even black, he was Mexican. So, but whatever.
Well, Twitter don't care. They'll just ban you.
Yeah, he was some type of dark. Yeah, you can't just say that, Leaf.
Listen, I didn't do it with a hard R, okay? Just say.
Well, I think they don't give a shit.
How have you been affected by this shit, Leaf?
Well, a few days ago, I got a phone call from a public health nurse to tell us that everyone who worked a certain shift 2 weeks ago during the morning came into contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19. So that was fun. That was a fun phone call. I totally love getting that like 2 weeks after the fact.
That's all right. I started working with my mom, and my mom had to get tested last night. So I'm in lockdown.
Nice. Damn. But if that was 2 weeks ago, you should have probably gotten it by now then, huh?
Should have, but the nurse that I talked to was like, if for some reason you show symptoms, you got to go get tested. I'm like, wait, does that mean I could still get it, or?
Right.
So I was
yeah, I guess if she gets symptoms later, then it could have just been that you didn't get the symptoms yet, right? So.
Yes, I'm just kind of pissed off, I'm not gonna lie, because with where I work, the doors had signs plastered everywhere, like covering the door saying, "Don't come in if you're sick, don't come in, don't come in, don't go past this point." But someone decided, well, I'm gonna go in anyway. So they completely disregarded not only the health of me and my coworkers, but of all the other staff and kids as well. Like they just didn't care.
Right, but that's the insidious thing about this disease, though, that you can have it and not know it and spread it.
That's true, but like, I don't know, man. Like, we should have shut down earlier, I think, instead of like the government be like, no, you have to stay open, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a tough call.
It was the big thing that surprised me with my work. They shut down like before most people. And to be honest, being stuck at home is driving me fucking nuts. But I'm glad they did so, because it was the responsible thing to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I work from home now, which is like good because I still get paid for my regular hours, but it's boring. Like I want to go back to work. I miss having that routine.
Yeah, see, I'm still getting paid for my regular hours, but there's absolutely no way I can work from home. So
no, you can't really do that for that thing.
Yeah, like I build fucking cars, right? Like I can't do that from home.
I just do like workshops and seminar. We do go to these like stupid fucking webinar things that like I don't really like, but I mean, gonna have to start getting used to those. I just can't. I get too restless for webinars. It's like I don't want to sit still through this.
Well, not much else you can do now.
I'm basically passing. If you can make the money while everybody else is not making the money, make the money.
Exactly.
You'll come out of this moderately wealthy while everybody else is shit poor.
Yeah. This is certainly no time to say no to work.
No, as much as it sucks that everybody else is going to be out of money, it puts those of us who are still able to make some money in a very good place when this is done.
That is true, because I was like given the option to be laid off and go with the emergency government whatever package thing. I'm like, but there's stipulations with that, and they were unclear, and I probably wouldn't have qualified. So I just went with getting my paycheck, because then I'm still making the money, and it's not like the government giving me money sometimes.
No, I mean, if they have to fire, if they fire you later, you can still apply for that.
That's true. So I'm gonna just keep making the money, and I fucking hope this all just kind of ends at some point so I can go back to work.
Yeah, that's what everyone's hoping.
Right now, I'm hoping it ends fucking soon. I have at least a month until I'm back. I'm honestly, I took a second job. I'm probably not going back to that because it may have exposed me to the shit.
Right.
But I'm gonna be looking for another one. I can't be. I can't do the cooped up at home thing, you know.
Well, you may not have a choice.
Well, no. If I end up having it, I'm gonna be pretty cooped up, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know what the rules are in your state, but they could put you on lockdown and shit.
I'm actually up in Canada, and they can.
Oh, right.
They can completely fucking lock us down. It's legally mandated. You can get fined for not having a proper distance between people, for going out without having a proper reason, for congregating in groups bigger than I think it's 5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to someone the other day in a game I play, and they were saying where they live, like they needed a permission slip to go grocery shopping. I'm like, who the fuck are you getting a permission slip from. I'm like, you have to write it yourself. I'm like, that makes no
What?
sense.
What?
It doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean write it yourself? I mean, okay.
You have to
Like
write,
just
like,
on
a
a slip
permission
of paper, like I can go out shopping, signed me.
I was
The
like, that's like
What-
insane. I'm like, people are getting stopped by the police, and if they don't have like permission to go like grocery shopping or something, they can get arrested. I'm just like, but
What
how
country
do
was
you
that?
write? I think they might be Brazilian.
Okay.
Most of the people in the game I play that are in my guild are Brazilian. Like a
I
good
mean,
chunk.
I don't understand the point of having a permission slip that you write yourself.
I don't
Yeah, I
understand
feel
that
like
either.
you could just tell them, "Hey, I gave myself permission."
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me. It was really confusing, and I questioned it a few times. I'm like, okay, wait, what? Like, are you like? I thought maybe the translator was broken, but no, they definitely meant it that way. I'm hitting like wait, it's like there's like a language barrier here.
When
I'm
you
just
say you write it yourself, do you mean like anything other than that?
That's retarded.
Well, some of them like speak English, obviously, but their English isn't perfect. So of course I'm going to question it a few times just to make sure I'm not like misunderstanding something. But no, they meant it that way, and I was just like, I still don't get it. Like, you're saying what you mean, but I still don't understand.
Yeah, that makes no sense. But I mean, I saw that clip that made the rounds on Twitter today. The British police are going full Gestapo, so they always
They don't
when
even
they get
have guns. How are they managing that?
well, I mean, they just sort of intimidate you. I guess they don't actually have to shoot you to be scary. They can just call for backup. But anyway, there was some guy. He was out in his yard. And the police showed up and like, no, you can't be in your yard. You got to be inside the fucking house. Like, Jesus Christ, you can't be outside on your own fucking property. Why?
My favorite thing about all this, though, is the boomers. The boomers that believe that 5G is to blame and that the virus isn't real.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Jesus, that is fucking retarded.
Oh, the posts are hilarious. Like you just lurk on Facebook and you see these boomers. They're all talking about how 5G is to blame and the virus isn't real. And the other ones, Jesus, I'm covered in Jesus's blood, so I can't get the virus.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay, I would like to point out, if we do have any older folk listening, COVID-19 is actually one of those weird viruses that, because of the 5G network, can travel through, the internet, phones, shit like that. And I'm very, very sorry for infecting you.
And yeah, it's like AIDS that way.
The boomer doomer is coming for you guys. You better watch out.
It was not my intention. I forgot about 5G. My bad. But yeah, it's coming for you.
Yeah, those conspiracies theories, they make me sad.
I think it's hilarious, but then I'm just looking for stuff to laugh at this point because everything else has gone to shit. It's kind of depressing.
Well, I guess in that way, it can be fun to laugh at, sure. But then you think about it, it's like, oh, they're actually this dumb.
Oh, they believe it 100%, and they're super stupid, and it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. I got in trouble because I said I didn't care that the UK Prime Minister got COVID-19. I'm like, you know what? This dude knowingly shook hands with people who tested positive for the virus. So I mean, like,
yeah, I don't care that. I don't care that Boris Johnson, is that it?
Yeah, that's him.
I don't.
Right.
I don't care that he got COVID. I don't care that most of the people that got COVID got COVID. I care about the people directly around me getting it, the people I care about.
You mean like a normal person, and you don't go on the internet to virtue signal and pretend you care about this person?
You know, there are some celebrities, some politicians. I would be legitimately sad if they ended up catching this shit and getting sick and shit like that, right?
That's understandable, but like, you're not going on like YouTube to be like, okay, anybody who doesn't care about this certain individual that I like having the virus is a, what did I called? I got called evil, a vile little person.
Well, no, because these are the people that I personally care about. I don't expect either of you two to care about the same people. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, we got people in the chat. I don't expect them to have the same values, the same important characters in their lives as I do.
No, of course.
I think when it comes to judging people for not caring about shit, basically 100% of the time you're being kind of dumb.
Like, also too, there's, I don't know if they're true allegations, mind you, but there's allegations that a lot of people are dying from completely different things that aren't related to COVID, but they're still being written off as deaths by the virus.
I have seen, I forget who the document was from. It may have been the WHO. It'll be somewhere in my notifications. I'll dig it up. But it said something along the lines of basically, if it seems likely that it might have been COVID, we'll call it COVID.
Yeah, I think that was that. I think it was like a local news station in Minnesota or something that interviewed a doctor, and he'd gotten some sort of order from the Department of Health or something that they should write it up as COVID if there's any chance of it being. It's weird because, like he said, it's that's not what a doctor is supposed to do on a death certificate. He's supposed to put down what he knows to be
the actual cause
true.
of death. Yeah,
and if they don't, and if they don't know, then it's unknown. Basically, that's the way they're supposed to do it. They can't say, well, it's probably this. That's not acceptable.
Well, they showed one of the symptoms of COVID, so you can just put down COVID.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
This motherfucker was coughing. It was COVID.
Yeah.
This lady over here, she had the shits. It was COVID.
That's weird.
This guy,
was
he
weird.
just up and died. COVID.
Yeah.
I can see how shit like that would make people a little suspicious, you know?
Yeah, he wasn't happy. That doctor wasn't happy.
Yeah, you can't just like telling a doctor, okay, well, if it seems like it might be, you have to just write it off, because like they like to know the actual, cause of death, and it's almost like kind of lying about what caused the death, because it could have been something completely different. It might not have been COVID.
Right. That's why they're not supposed to put down shit they don't know on the death certificate. So,
let's see. Yeah, as far as the actual death certificate goes, as far as like the family and all that, your relative died of a disease. Doesn't really matter which disease, right? But when we're in the middle of a fucking situation like this, when we need to have some accurate numbers on the deaths caused by it, it's a very irresponsible practice.
Yeah.
Well, we got Fading Dark in the chat. She's a nurse. She says COVID doesn't cause the shits. I apologize.
That's good. You got a fact checker.
Yeah, I don't know about this whole situation. I think there are definitely lies coming from certain governments, unfortunately, including both obviously the Chinese government and yours, Undoomed, the U.S. government. At the same time, I don't think this disease has been massively blown out of proportion. I think it's still a pretty massive risk to all of us, or at least those of us who aren't young and healthy.
Yeah.
I got a notification on Facebook the other day saying, you see this video of this orangutan washing its hands? Well, guess what? It's not washing its hands because of this. It saw its zookeeper doing it during the COVID pandemic. This happened in November, guys. This is like weeks before the COVID pandemic happened. I'm like, dude, like, first of all, this orangutan was in China. China lied about the first case. Like, the first case that was made public was like back in November. So, okay, you can't just say everybody's lying about certain things. It's just like a harmless video. It wasn't even like a serious thing. And like, they're like, oh, these people are liars because the virus wasn't around in November, but like it was.
I mean,
but they're just going, well, China said that it wasn't around. I'm like, yeah, but China lied like multiple times. Like, why are we going based off what they said at this point? That's just dumb.
Well, it doesn't really matter because it's a virus and it's going to spread. You know, that's just what viruses do. And right now, it's not even China. It's probably us that has the biggest amount of people infected.
The most believable conspiracy theory is that it's a bioweapon, and everybody was intentionally infected, and this is what China planned.
Yeah, but that's stupid because they're suffering extremely hard with this shit.
If this was a bioweapon, they did it wrong.
Yeah, they fucking.
I mean, it's China, so
they're like, I mean, just think of the economic damage. Holy fuck! No one's buying anything.
Well, I'm buying stuff online. I spent a good deal of money on a Nintendo Switch. I spent a good deal of money on this like lunchbox that cooks your food for you.
Well, I mean, you still have a job, but you know, there's lots of people
who aren't like buying you.
It was like I saw today there were 750,000 people applying for unemployment in Texas just this month.
That's a lot. I was hearing
and that's actually more than applied for it the entire last year.
I know a boatload of people in Canada have been like applying like crazy. They've been overwhelming the system.
Sorry?
Schmeckle chat. Over 4 million in Canada.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't qualify for it, so I'm just like, whatever. We'll just keep working.
You don't qualify?
No, I don't.
Is it infection?
You don't qualify if you haven't lost your job.
Well,
that's true.
That, and I wouldn't qualify even if I did lose my job because I haven't been working at my job long enough to have obtained the amount of working hours you need.
Oh shit!
Do you qualify for the stimulus? You only had to have made like $5,000.
No, because I have not been working there long enough to have made $5,000. Like, I just started at the end of January.
And how many months is? Okay, only 2.5. I guess. But
wait, what?
I was just trying to do the math on how you didn't make $5,000 in that time, but it's an amount of time where
at the end of January, and I get paid $12.50 an hour, and it's
what
split
the
shift.
Fuck? Oh, you're not in Ontario.
No. And it's
Okay.
split shift, so I'll get paid for my split shift, the split shift incentive, and occasionally we'd have days where we'd work like the full 8 hours, but since I do a split shift job, it's like, I'll say, for example, 2 hours in the morning and maybe 2.5 hours in the afternoon. And that's
Okay. So you're not like full time.
It's considered full time. It's just weird because of how split shift works. Like I'm a childcare assistant, so
Why would they split it up like that?
because of school. So during the morning before school, we'd look after the kids, and then after school we look after the kids.
Right.
And on in-service days, like in-services and like what would have been spring break, and that like we get full hours, and we get paid. Yeah, spring break got canceled. I was really sad. Like we're gonna go on all these field trips. No field trips. Canceled. My CPR course canceled.
They canceled your CPR course? You can do that through most universities online.
You don't want to do CPR during these times, Fad.
Don't have a choice.
Well, I already paid.
Use a bag. Don't put your mouth on them. And CPR is chest compressions only, usually.
I already paid the $55 for the course, so I'm not like keen on paying more money for another course when I haven't gotten the other money back that I already paid.
Wait, they didn't refund you for the course you didn't take?
No. Well, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be rescheduled when this ends, but, like, this is kind of weird because I'm supposed to have gotten the CPR within 2 months of getting this job. But within 2 months of getting the job, this shit happens. Like, what are the fucking chances of that?
So,
and
if
not
anybody...
only that, it was the week I was supposed to take this course was when all this shit, like, started getting worse. The fucking week.
To anybody out there, given what's going on right now, if you need to do CPR, do not do mouth-to-mouth, just do chest compressions. You don't need mouth-to-mouth, just chest compressions.
Man, if that motherfucker's laying on the ground not breathing, it's probably coronavirus. Don't touch him.
Do chest compressions, don't touch your face, and wash your hands as soon as you can.
I need to give Schmeckle up.
Now, if they spit up in your face, you're kind of fucked, because she got it.
And that's why you don't touch dying people.
You don't just let them die? What's wrong with you?
Self-preservation.
Well, actually, you can technically, like, legally let someone die if it's...
No, I can't. I will lose my career.
Not you specifically, but, like, if me and Schmeckle saw, like, some random person on the street dying, like, we could legally just not go near that person. We have to, like, phone it in, like, dial 911, obviously.
One time I gave mouth-to-mouth to a guy for 20 fucking minutes. Then the ambulance showed up. And then I read in the papers later that he was already dead before I found him. I ain't giving no more fucking mouth-to-mouth.
Oh my god. Well, the fact it was 20 minutes should have been a dead giveaway.
I kept trying. That's what you do until the fucking ambulance shows up. It turns out he was probably already dead.
See, here's the thing. Your brain can go without oxygen for 3 minutes. So if you give it 5, they're dead. Just stop. There's no point after this.
Yeah, see, by the time I showed up, he had hit a big ass speed bump on his bike, flipped off of it, cracked his skull. When I showed up, there were a bunch of his friends all fucking, freaking out that he was bleeding out. I recognized them as a bunch of the local mentally handicapped people. So I got out. I started doing this shit. I had the girlfriend at the time call 911 and all that shit. And then I just did it till they showed up. I read in the papers later that he had probably died upon impact.
Probably.
He had probably been dead for minutes before I came by.
Yeah, the minutes would have been the giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm not a medically educated person.
Rule of 3. 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food.
I think I've gone more than 3 weeks without food.
Well, you should apply for Naked Unafraid.
Right?
I have no idea what that is, but if
It's like
it
a
can
show
make me
when
money,
they-
I'll do it.
It's like a show where they send off people to live for 21 days or something without food.
I think I could do that.
They don't give you alcohol, though.
Oh,
They don't even
Never
give you
mind.
a fucking spoon.
Yeah, no
Okay.
booze in this.
Just find a way to make your own. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And no clothes.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's just, the whole point of the show is kind of weird, though, because obviously they blur everything out. There's always
Why be nude if you're gonna blur it?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of, they should have broadcast that shit on the Playboy channel or something instead.
I mean,
Yeah,
Like,
if
does
part of the
anybody on
rules are,
that
hey,
show-
you have to be naked.
is anybody
Yeah,
even
that's the
on
rule.
that show that would be like worth seeing naked though? Like,
I don't know.
That's a
Watched it.
good point. What do these people look like?
Well,
I kind of don't want to know.
They don't look too good after 21 days, though.
I would assume not. You get an even close to regular sized person and make them not eat for 21 days. They probably ain't looking great.
No, it kind of looked like, people from the concentration camps in World War II.
I can fully fulfill my Jewish heritage.
There you go.
Back to the COVID shit though. Since we are talking concentration camps, what do you think we should do with all the infected?
Most of them are fine if they just stay home. Those that have complications, we should probably do what we're doing and let them into the hospitals so we can treat them.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can
Seems
see
to be a
that.
pretty good plan so far.
I don't have an alternate plan, so.
I don't either, and it's job security, so
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we could ship them all off to Germany. They do still have the facilities.
but then I don't have a job.
That's
Yeah.
true. We do need to keep our nurses employed. They have been right on the front lines through all of this. Speaking of which,
you're not going to run out of work anytime soon.
Oh no, but we're gonna run out of pay
Which
because they
bad?
just gave us 15% pay cut.
Oh, that's a nice thing.
wait. They're paying you less during all of this.
Yep, 15% less.
that's
Why?
actually ridiculous.
Save money.
Yeah, sure, but still, like, now you're going to work twice as hard. We're going to pay you less. Okay?
Yes. That's it exactly.
How
That
did
That's
they
crazy.
how did they go about justifying that to you?
They didn't have to. They cut doctors' wages too.
That makes no fucking sense.
No.
They're
That's
also
okay.
paying hospitals less to save money. It's expensive. We've got to pay everybody that's off work, plus NHS is also paid out of tax money, and tax money only goes so far.
Oh,
All of you nurses and doctors should rise up, go up to the Board of Health or whatever and say, you know what? We're just gonna go into sex work. Fuck you. Make more money that way.
The sex workers aren't making any money right now, and
Right?
they're big mad.
Yeah, I think that's a bad business plan.
It is because this thing spreads, right? Most people it's kind of have sex with strangers from 6 feet apart, unless you're using a broom handle or something.
That's called internet
Maybe it's
sex.
hard for your man, Thad.
Yeah, that's just phone sex.
Yeah.
Well, they're so mad. It's so funny. They're like, the government doesn't consider our line of work real work, so we're not getting the government benefits. I'm like, but wait, you guys have been saying for years that sex work is real work. What do you mean you can't get government benefits? I thought it was real work, guys.
Right? Did they plan savings or retirement savings or anything like that?
No,
Did they
apparently
put anything
like
into a 401k?
they flaunt all their money on the internet and then they spend it on stupid stuff. And like there's some that blew like thousands upon thousands of dollars within the first week of this, and I'm just like, why?
I don't feel sorry for you. There's
I'm
so many
sorry, I
people out
also
of
blew
work.
thousands in the first weeks of this.
I just blew $400 on new scrubs and stethoscope.
I buy video games and stuff that doesn't cause me stress.
I buy work supplies.
That's depressing.
Yeah, why do you buy that shit?
Yeah, it's kind of required.
We do actually have a question in the chat for Fad. Bearded Bastard says, I want to know what Fading Dark's opinion would be about a second bout with an infected individual, knowing it causes O2 issues and organ failure.
Same situation that arises here is, so what's happening is a couple of months, like several weeks after the first cases are coming in, people who got it are coming back to the hospital now with low blood oxygen and organ failure. And some have glass lung. So they got it, got sent home, and now are winding up back in the hospital in worse condition than they left in. So
Well,
that's a lot where...
Were they ever declared disease-free? Or?
Yeah, but they're getting it again.
So there's no immunity.
They're coming back, and that's where, like, a lot of the new ventilator shortages are coming from, is people coming back.
Well,
So,
I mean, so you're saying
we're going to look at another uptick.
Are you saying there's no immunity?
Not everybody's coming back. We don't know yet. It's still early.
Okay.
But for those that are, we can't get their blood oxygen levels to stay up.
Right.
Like, their lungs are just so damaged.
That would be crazy if there's no immunity, because then herd immunity won't work. So all those guys are trying to do that are fucked.
But again, we don't know yet. It could be they just came in contact with it again, or it could just be certain factors that play into it. We don't know.
Well, it's also mutating, right? So it's not like they could catch it, like, say, once, and then it mutates and they get it again, but it's the mutated version of the virus and not... Like,
I don't think we don't know how fast it mutates yet either. Like, a coronavirus is like
a few times since this whole thing started.
We don't know the speed.
We don't know how fast it mutates, but we do know that diseases in general mutate. That's why we get the flu multiple times. We've had multiple colds, shit like that, right?
Correct.
So the whole idea that once you've had it, you can't have it again.
Yeah, but it usually doesn't mutate the same season.
No, usually it does take time, but this disease keeps surprising us, right?
Yeah, there's an understatement.
It's kind of dumb at this point to go, I've had it, I can't have it. I can't have it again. I'm young, I can't have it. I'm fucking
So,
blonde-eyed, blue-eyed, blonde-haired. I can't have it.
right. So it looks like there's another question on smokers catching COVID. Smokers and vapors are actually at much greater risk of catching it. It does affect your lungs. So if you're compromising your lungs with cigarettes or vaping, you are increasing your chances of complications. And this is coming from a smoker.
If I end up being positive for it, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna die. Like that's my plan right now.
Well, like,
You know
I
we'll
don't,
try to
like,
save you.
how does this, like, is someone who's, I don't smoke, I've never smoked, but, like, I know people who smoke already, like, cough a lot and some already have respiratory issues, so how are they going to know
Smokers
if they
cough.
have it? Yeah, how are they going to know if they have it if they're already always, like, coughing? I don't.
Because they don't feel like they're drowning yet. Patients refer to this as 3 weeks in hell. You literally feel like you are drowning.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that one.
Your lungs are filling with fluid. You are drowning.
Right. That's the
It's not
part
that you feel like you're drowning.
I don't want to have that.
You don't just feel like you're drowning. You're actually drowning.
Yep. That's
And that is why the people saying it's just a flu,
why I
bro.
think it's a different thing from other flus or whatever.
Well, yeah, the people are like, it's just a flu. I'm like, normal flus don't, like, drown you to death.
Yeah.
But I mean, can't I just do what I did when I had pneumonia and just do the whole type thing a bunch?
No, that's not how it works.
What, they have to do the thing where they stick the needle in your back and drain it?
Sometimes.
That's a
Oh God,
spinal
that sounds
tap.
horrifying.
No, we actually do stick a needle in your side and drain the fluid out of your lungs.
Right.
That sounds terrifying.
Straight through the lungs, really.
Yep, into the lungs, drain it out.
The fuck do you do with the hole afterwards?
It's a needle. A syringe or whatever.
Yeah, you just poked a hole in the lung, dude. You seal it up afterwards.
Yes! Oh God. No, we're gonna leave a hole in your lung and just, and in your chest cavity, because it's not like that needs to be, doesn't need compression or anything, Pressure. Nothing to do with your chest cavity. Just gonna leave a hole there. Why not?
I mean, with some of the doctors I've seen around.
Compressed lung. That's a bonus.
But
I think I'm good now. Fucking Schmeckle. That was the best question.
And nuke censorship is correct. Fluid in your lungs is not the same as mucus draining down from your sinus cavity. They're completely different.
Okay, so you're saying if I try and clear it hard enough, I can't pull it straight up out of my lungs?
No.
God damn, I need to retake biology.
Yeah, see, what you need to do is hang upside down.
So after a while,
naturally.
I think it's so that after enough blood rushes to your head, you pass out and don't have to feel it anymore. That's about all you're accomplishing here. Like, the fluid isn't going to drain out from gravity.
I know.
I mean,
what if I hang upside down and I kind of vibrate to kind of shake it out?
What if you just poke a hole into your chest cavity and into your lungs to drain it out for you?
You cannot,
because I don't know if you're going to seal that hole back up.
Schmeckle, you are not the Flash. You cannot vibrate your body, sir. That's not how this works.
Oh, you can strap a dildo.
You have not seen how bad my shake is.
I actually kind of want to see him do this.
I do too.
Just for the entertainment.
Hey, Schmeckle, do you got anywhere you can hang up?
I'm going to have to get coronavirus, but of course I do.
Why don't you come on down to the hospital? I'll let you visit a couple of patients.
Are any of them cute? I've been locked up for 3 weeks.
They have coronavirus. I'm going to say no. They can't breathe.
Now coronavirus makes someone ugly?
If you can't breathe, you're not exactly at your best.
Hey, if you can't breathe, you can't exactly complain, can you?
That is true.
I'd like to clarify that was not a rape comment. That was just you ain't be able to complain about what you're getting.
Yeah, that clarifies it. Yeah.
Is it going to bring a resurgence of iron lungs? I don't think so. We really don't know yet.
Iron lung? That sounds bad.
Iron lung is a machine that you get put in so that you can breathe if your lungs don't function correctly. It was used to be used a lot for people who got polio.
Right, but wasn't that before ventilators?
It was before vaccines, actually. Like the last person. So it's known as a negative pressure ventilator.
Isn't there only like 2 people left in the world that are still using one?
I think it's 1 or 2. And they breathe for the person, whereas we can't keep you on a ventilator forever. But we can put you in an iron lung.
That sounds like depressing. Like that's just at that point, that's just someone keeping you alive for purely selfish reasons. It's not even you're not even really alive.
You're fully alive and fully functional.
About 2 months ago, I signed a DNR. Because why the fuck would you want to live like that? If I'm sitting there having machines run my body, or if my brain don't work no more, put me the fuck down.
Okay, well, the thing with the iron lung is your brain does work. You're capable of eating, talking, having a conversation. You can come out for a few minutes a day.
Okay, you can move a couple minutes a day.
A few minutes, yeah, depending on how bad it is.
Yeah, like 3-4 minutes a day. That's worth living for.
Is it really? That sounds depressing. Because then for every other minute that you're not out of there, you're trapped inside the machine. And
you're struggling to breathe the entire time you're out of there. But yeah, we had thought the last guy was on it, but thanks to anti-vaxxers, if we don't start getting people vaccinated against things like polio, we're going to bring them back. Like we thought we were done with it.
I don't know. I don't think polio would be that bad a thing.
That's why they're in iron lungs.
Yeah, no, I saw FDR though. He seemed pretty capable. He had to have people walk him around and shit, but at least he
need an iron lung.
I mean, iron lung. It sounds badass, right?
Iron
Man. Would suck. I mean, we could decorate it in bright colors, I guess.
Put flames
I don't even think they make them anymore.
Put some fucking flames and spikes.
But they have to be specifically flames that look like they were on like the cars from like the 90s. They have to be those specific flames.
Like, yeah, the old decals that made a car look like a Hot Wheel.
Yes.
But we'd have to start making them again. We thought we were done with them. Everybody was vaccinated. Nobody needed them anymore.
Well, so, yeah, now everybody's not vaccinated because a lot of people are stupid.
Right?
How do we solve that problem? Do we forcefully vaccinate? Do we euthanize stupid people? Do we create a bunch of iron lungs?
I don't think parents are in the best position to make medical decisions for their children. I think it should be up to the doctors.
Yeah, I never understood.
And it is very unpopular opinion, and I don't care. I'm sorry, parents. You are not doctors. You don't know more than the doctors do. I don't know more than the doctors do.
It's not even that. A bunch of parents basically all of these anti-vaxxer parents go, it's my kid, it's my choice. And yes, legally, that is very true. But the whole
And it shouldn't
concept
be.
looks at your kid as if your kid, like my kid, is the same thing as my shovel or
Yes.
my car.
Your dog has
kid
more rights than
ain't,
your kid.
your property. Your kid is your responsibility.
Correct.
There's a big fucking difference there.
And that's not how the law looks at it. The law looks at your children as your property, yours to do with as you wish, unless you actually physically cause them or harm, like you starve them or you beat them. Then it's a problem.
As far as I'm concerned, if you ain't taking the steps to keep your kid safe and healthy, when you have the opportunity to do so, that's the same as not feeding your fucking kid when you have the opportunity to do so. I
know it's an unpopular opinion, Amanda. It's just how I feel about it, too. I get to see kids come into my ER sick, dying, or worse, because parents don't do what the doctors tell them to do.
They want to use
witchcraft. Religious ones.
I do also disagree with you, Fad.
Can't you just let the parents use witchcraft? God, like they should just be able to use like the home remedies to fix their dying child. That was sarcasm. That was sarcasm.
Doctors should not have full control.
Who the fuck's got that static going all the time?
Not me.
I think it's you, Fad. Here, let me. Yeah, I think it was Fad.
Rip.
Right. It's driving me nuts.
But yeah, I think Mark's playing a video game. He's shooting a bunch of things.
To fix his shit.
Mark, you're supposed to fix your shit. Turn it down. Okay, well, that's kind of what's giving me out.
Yeah, I don't think doctors should have full control over the medical end. I think that there are certain things that should be mandated as necessary.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, Fad, are you able to mute yourself and just unmute when you want to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
You doing okay there, Undoomed?
This is fucking getting on my nerves.
I didn't even notice it until you pointed it out, but when you did, I couldn't.
Well, I noticed it. It just wasn't really bugging me, but then again, I'm like used to like background noise, so it was like whatever. It was just background noise.
Sounds like she's electrocuting someone.
Hey, maybe they're having sexy time on stream. Maybe that's one of their kinks.
Electro.
I would actually like to get your guys' opinion on who should be, I guess, in control when it comes to the medical choices for children.
You asking me?
Both of you.
Well, I think that the doctors should have that decision. It's kind of like when you're driving a car. It's not affecting just you. It's affecting everyone around you. That's why we have traffic rules. And if it just affected your kid, that might be one thing, but it also affects everyone around you and the other kids if someone stops vaccinating. So
anti-vaxxers are fucking retarded, and they shouldn't be allowed to have children.
Sorry, who?
Anti-vaxxers.
Right. Yeah.
Is this better? You put his headphones in.
No, you're still pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds like you're either electrocuting someone or frying bacon.
Those are very cute. Like, wow, okay.
Similar sounds and smells, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think burnt human smells terrible. Like, you gotta think of, like, their hair and everything. Bacon smells good, even if it's slightly burnt.
Yeah, but you put them in the chair, it doesn't fry the hair.
I never been around someone who's been fried in a
They put a
chair,
wet
but
sponge on their head.
I've been around people who have had their hair fried, and it smells horrible. Like, it smells really bad.
Yeah, burnt hair ain't the greatest smell. But back to anti-vaxxers. Not gonna lie, I ain't a fan, but I'm gonna play kind of the devil's advocate here. How do you argue against the whole government, doctors, whoever taking control of people's children? Or sorry, rather, how do you argue against the fact that that's not okay?
The main thing where parents should absolutely have no say is in things like vaccinations, medical conditions like diabetes, where they don't want to give them insulin or glucophage to control their blood sugars because prayer will heal them or essential oils will heal them. Essential oils aren't going to bring your kid's blood sugars down. It's not
Come on, what if you use like fucking like sage oil with some of that cinnamon smelling shit, the eucalyptus shit? Yeah, that shit'll clear your nostrils. It has to be healthy. It's basically medicine.
I think you broke her.
I think I did. Like, I was joking.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing.
Get going.
I don't know. I think people think everything has to be super extreme. I'm not saying, parents take the kids away from the parents because they won't vaccinate or don't want to vaccinate it. I'm saying vaccinate them anyway. Give them back to their parents. Don't take them away.
No, see, personally, I would tend to go a little bit further. I would say if their parents were unwilling to vaccinate, they should be investigated. I would say that is the type of thing that I would call child endangerment.
I call it lack of education or believing in stupid conspiracy theories. They want to believe Karen on Facebook over their pediatrician.
I mean, I agree with that entirely. I just think it's also, if you agree, if you believe Karen on the internet and she happens to be what was the name? That fucking Asian chick Jeff Holiday went after. The one who was feeding fucking sodium.
Jelly juice.
Jelly juice. You're endangering your child. I feel like that's obviously a lot more serious than just denying them vaccines. But I feel like if you're following your misguided beliefs based on some type of pseudoscience or some denial of regular science, and it's to the detriment of your child.
And here's the fucked up thing. Most parents are want what's best for their kids. They genuinely care, and they are genuinely worried, which is understandable.
They are trying to do what's best for their child, but they are too stupid to do so, and that's endangering their child. Ergo, child should be put somewhere safer.
The parents that aren't fucking incredibly clueless and are all part of the anti-vaxxer movement and saying you should never vaccinate your children, blah, blah. No, just vaccinate your fucking children.
Yeah,
it's the parents' stupidity. Why should the kid have to suffer because the parents are retarded?
Look at it this way. Look at it this way. It's been heavily disproven that it'll make your kid autistic, but even if it did, it's probably better than a dead kid. Beyond that,
Yeah, people that are like, autism's worse than polio.
No, it's
not so much.
Sure about that.
And then there's the measles. It's just a rash. Right. Okay. And I don't know if they're saying the sun makes it worse or makes it better. But somehow it's the sun's fault.
What?
Their anti-vaxxers believe the sun is what causes measles.
The sun. Okay.
The sun.
I would like to point out Amanda Wolfchild was kind of the one who in the chat this argument related to. I would like to point out that she is saying she's fine with health insurance being able to choose if they cover anti-vaxxers or not. She's fine with it being mandatory for public school. And she's fine with employers getting to pick whether or not they hire. She says anti-vaxxers. I assume she means the unvaccinated. She's just saying you can't fucking put a gun to their head and force them to do it. And I can respect that.
If it's for yourself, your own personal self, sure. But like, if it's for your kid, and
exactly,
like that's a different story,
right? Like, I'm perfectly okay with you choosing for yourself what you want to do, but when you're involving not only your children but everybody else's children, including mine, now we're gonna butt heads because if my kid gets sick because they're too young to be vaccinated or they have another condition to where they can't. And you choose not to vaccinate, and your kid gets my kid sick, it's not your kid I'm coming after.
Well, no, and that's exactly the thing. I will say it flat out right here. I have a 4-year-old daughter. She is the most important thing in my life.
Aww.
If your kid shows up to school with measles or some shit, because you're a fucking moron. And my kid ends up dying of measles because you're a fucking moron. You will end up dying because you were a fucking moron. And then I will go to prison. And I will be okay with that because I killed the person who caused my child's death.
The problem with measles is it can lead to encephalitis of the brain, where her brain will swell. That's what'll kill her.
Exactly, and that's why we vaccinate against these things. We don't vaccinate against I don't know, fucking shingles or something, because shingles don't kill. We vaccinate against the mumps, because sometimes people fucking die of that shit.
Yes. We don't vaccinate against things like the common cold. It's not going to kill you. We try to vaccinate against the flu as best we can. But when we look at history before vaccines became widely available, and the number of deaths caused by what we vaccinate against, child death. At one point throughout history, we lost anywhere from 2/3 to half of all children never made it to 18.
Right. They didn't even used to give them names till like 6 years old or something.
Yeah, till they were 6. Because chances are they weren't going to survive.
Yeah.
You didn't name a kid. What? How did you refer to the kid until 6?
Boy or girl?
Yeah.
You had no choice because odds are they were probably going to die. Pretty much.
Fuck.
Hey, boy.
So many of them died.
On this very depressing note, I'm going to go leave and watch another stream that I enjoy watching because it's about to start. I'll talk to you later, Schmeckle, and maybe Fad at some point. And I probably won't see Undoomed again because I'm not on Twitter anymore.
Nice meeting you.
Later, guys.
Good talking to you, Leaf. Have a good one.
Bye, Leaf. Isn't that what we're doing right now, Amanda? You're handing over your freedom in the name of safety? You don't want to catch coronavirus. You don't want your kids to get it. So
shit.
we're self-isolating. That's exactly what we are doing.
Oh, we spun right into something I'd like to speak about. What do you guys think about the idea that that all of these measures we're taking to avoid spreading corona, the isolation, the quarantine, shit like that? What do you
We're
guys
not.
think about the whole it's a corrosion of our freedoms argument?
It's not for you. We are trying to slow the spread so that our hospitals don't get overly swamped, and so that we don't have to do triage to the point where we have to pick and choose who gets to live and who gets to die. We don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm a triage nurse. I don't want to
I
have to
would
tell.
love to be the one who gets to pick who lives and dies. You are not doing your job right.
There's criteria we have to follow. There's criteria we have to follow. But we don't want people dying because it's spreading so quickly, too quickly, or so far too quickly. It's going to swamp us. More people are going to die than need to be. Slow it down. Let us treat it as it happens.
Well, I'm interested in what's going on in Sweden, because they don't have any lockdowns or anything. They're like, be fine.
What's going on in Sweden as far as it's spreading? Are they not locked down but not touched by it? Or are they just being dumb before it hits? Or
yeah, that's the interesting question. We don't know. I mean, obviously they have a bunch of cases over there, so it's developing there like anywhere else. But they haven't had. They figure like, no, we're not going to do that. It's more important to save the economy. So everyone should go to work and everything should be normal. Just try to stay home as much as possible, basically.
Don't get me wrong. It is important to take care of the economy.
But it's also important to take care of each other.
I don't know the right answer. I mean, if we like quarantine ourselves into oblivion and we don't have an economy to come back to, then that's going to lead to fucking anarchy in World War III.
Died off. Yeah, you know.
We are reading the chat, Kevin Duggan. You can say whatever you want. We are reading it.
Yeah, we've done so multiple times. I think Fad responded to Amanda.
I respond to anybody who asks questions or
from Amanda. She does say her kids are vaccinated, and so is she. She just doesn't like the authoritarian aspect of it all.
There is
Linus says he's backstage. We have somebody called "Come in My Ass," so I figure that's probably him.
I mean, it's not wrong to ask questions when it comes to the whole vaccine thing for your kids.
Yes, we have.
But at the same time, right? Let's look at it this way. It's not authoritarian to say a doctor wants you to get these certain vaccines and why it's so detrimental to your children to get an MMR vaccine or, the common flu vaccine, anything like that. Like, yes, you may have questions, but there are many reasons why the medical professionals do what they do. Like, your fucking junk YouTube science is not going to exacerbate what the fucking medical professionals have been through.
Amanda, we have done this before in history. This is how we stopped the spread of the Spanish flu pandemic in 1918. That's how we know it works.
Well, and one of the things you brought up, the Spanish flu, right? So one of the things that I like to bring up to people about vaccines is they go, well, the flu vaccine doesn't work because of this and that. No, you have to understand the flu vaccine, what you're looking at now is a gastrointestinal. It attacks that where you have the, vomiting, you have the nausea, you have the diarrhea. and it's not.
I gotta interrupt for a second. Bearded bastard, you sound very familiar. Who the fuck are you?
You know me as Ace.
Oh,
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've had to piss for like 45 minutes. Undoomed's in charge. I'll be right back.
No contact that we know of, Kevin Duggan. We can't say there's no contact. We don't know.
But one of the things that people don't understand about what the Spanish flu did, it was a respiratory illness versus what people think of the common flu, where it's that gastrointestinal illness. So that's a big detriment. And when we're talking about vaccines, the common flu vaccination, what they're doing is they're projecting of these are the main active ones, and these are what we're going to provide that vaccine against at the current time. Now, you may have something like swine flu pop up, but at the same time, if you look at something like swine flu...
You're wrong on what the flu is. The flu is a contagious respiratory illness. It affects the nose, throat, and lungs. The flu vaccine, even if it doesn't prevent you from getting the flu itself, it does help mitigate some of the symptoms and lower your chances of getting pneumonia.
I'm only saying that what people consider the flu now compared to what the actual flu is in the medical terminology, that's severely different.
hey, Grandpa, what did you do during the COVID-19 crisis of 2020? Well, gee, grandson, I don't know. I got high as fuck and played Viva Pinata until I wasn't laid off anymore. That's what I did, kid. That's what I fucking did.
I built my fucking goddamn toilet paper fort and played Fortnite.
Like, goddamn, Viva Pinata is fucking brutal. Holy shit. I've never seen a kid's game so goddamn brutal. Fuck. It's like it's a bloodbath every other fucking day. It's like the frogs are trying to kill the newts. The donkeys hate the deer, and the bees hate the flies. It's insane. And then all of a sudden, these fucking reg things come in and start shitting poison everywhere, and I can't do anything to stop it because I'm trying to stop one bloodbath from happening. Anyways, I'm not successful. I'm really bad at pinata.
So, Amanda, we did practice social distancing in 1918, and they did, in air quotes here, strongly advise you self-isolate. Back before you had all your civil rights in place to prevent them from more strongly encouraging you self-isolate. So
also,
there was nothing to stop the cops back then from beating your ass if you're walking down the street.
Now, at the same time, and I'm assuming there's different sanitary standards that were in place then compared to now. So I think that may have played a factor. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Did they even know what a virus was back then?
Yes.
Yeah, that was found out in the 1800s. They did not know quite as much about germ theory as we do today, which means they didn't know washing their hands would help. They knew keeping things clean helped.
Always clean.
Like, stores and stuff would obviously wash everything down. They knew that helped. But they didn't equate it with cleaning yourself as much.
Right.
They figured as long as, we wash the shelves, everything's going to be fine. As opposed to, like, now we're like, that's not how it works. You have to wash your hands. Cross-contamination wasn't a thing.
All right. I know we're not supposed to think of people in the past as just dumb. But if they had figured out that cleaning everything else helped.
Why did they figure out cleaning your hands helped too?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's actually this huge wave of food poisoning in the 50s when women started cooking with chicken. and cross-contamination. Didn't realize, A, you had to handle chicken a certain way, and B, you had to cook it thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people got sick from that before we figured out, hey, chicken contains bacteria that makes you sick. Like, they wouldn't even wash their hands between cutting up a chicken and making a salad.
Yeah, no, I feel like if we knew, hey, things being dirty makes you sick, we should have figured out that transferred to our own hands.
But they
Well, they
love that
recommended, like,
musky smell.
right. They recommended bathing every day because they figured that was enough to keep you clean. They didn't take into account everything you touch and do during the day required you to rewash your hands.
But they figured out that things being touched by people's hands made them dirty.
That's a
Yes.
problem for the person at the end of the day.
Not saying they were
Yeah,
the brightest. We just learned more since then.
Again, I hate to think of people in the past as just dumb. I like to think of them as uninformed.
Well,
But in this case, they were just dumb.
Well, these are also the same people who put fucking
I'll be back.
borax and baby milk to freshen it up and feeding it to their kids.
I don't know what borax is, but it sounds delicious.
It's it. I mean,
Just
you ain't wrong.
start taking straight shots of it, Schmeckle. You'll be good.
But yeah, borax is the shit you used to use to clean your clothes before laundry detergent and shit. Combine it with a bunch of other stuff, and you've got something that makes things pretty clean. And they used to think of it as some kind of cure-all when it came out first, and now they thought it was, on top of being a good cleaner and a good whitener, they also thought it was a really good way of preserving milk that had gone sour.
Is that is it bleach?
It's not really bleach. It's like, God, here, let me look it up. 'Cause it's still like for sale today. It's just it's known as a cleaner now instead of use it for this and every other thing.
Now, and how flavorless is it?
Pretty apparently it was flavorless enough for babies not to spit it out when they drank milk that was treated with it. But what they thought was that it made milk or kept milk fresh, but in reality, it just reduced something. It affected the pH to the point where the smell and taste of the sour milk was no longer there, but the bacteria causing it was still there, which resulted in a lot of the food.
Milk.
So you got the fucking bacteria from the milk plus the poison you had dumped into the milk.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it killed a lot of kids.
Yeah, a lot of dead babies.
I could kind of see that, though. I won't call that them being stupid. I'll call that them being misinformed. Hey, it cleaned other things. They thought it cleaned your insides.
Oh, you should have seen what happened with the Radion, or no, not Radion. What was the
Radium?
Radium. It was there was some. Okay, yeah, I think it might have been Radium. Yeah, Radium Girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, the watchmakers, they put it on their lips to glow, or put it in their hair.
Well,
So
they
they
put it
glow.
on their lips because they would straighten out. That's how you would straighten
The
out
brush.
your paintbrush. Yeah. And then they ended up getting fucking jaw cancer and pretty much being unfuckable.
They would dye their hair blonde with it.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Fucking brilliant.
Jesus.
I mean, they had it in powder form. They figured you could stir it in water and it'd be nice for you or something, like mineral water.
Or if you rub it all over your skin so you'd glow at like parties and stuff.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Right.
No,
Why don't you go get some
we've got
fucking plutonium?
And now
No.
you're dead.
we got something in the chat here that I think is actually a good point to point out to everyone. The elephant in the room says, "This reminds me of people with gloves today. The gloves protect your hands. They don't stop shit transferring from the gloves to everything else you touch. You go out in public, you're wearing a pair of gloves. It ain't gonna protect you if you're fucking rubbing your face and shit.
I keep
Right.
I keep wipes on me to wipe my phone off constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the biggest thing that people don't realize is when you're touching everything else and then touching your phone, and you take off your gloves and you touch your phone again, you just infected yourself, dumbass.
Well, and one of the things that I've realized with all this like quarantine, don't touch this, don't touch that bullshit, is going like to a Walmart and fucking hitting the self checkout. They're wiping down the fucking the scanning area. They're wiping down the fucking computer, but they're not wiping down the fucking touchpad. So fucking like I have my own wipes. And I fucking wipe that shit down.
Our self checkouts are closed, and our cashiers are behind plexiglass. They wipe down the keypad between and conveyor belt between each person.
What is that?
So-
a Publix? That sounds like Publix quality.
That's Walmart.
Publix.
Nah, Walmart's not that quality. You must be.
That's
going
all Walmart.
Yeah, no. Our Walmarts do not do that. Publix, yes, but not Walmart out here. Like
Our Walmart does that. And then there's markers on all of our stores have the markers with the arrows making the aisles one ways so that you're not crossing each other. And there's like
shit.
6-foot tape markers all over the
Man.
place.
That's a district manager who knows how to suck a dick or two.
Right? That's all of our stores though. And they're only allowing 15 people in at a time, so you got lines going around buildings of people standing 6 feet apart outside because only 15 people are allowed to
and I
store.
bet they're keeping the mentally retarded guys who throw up on the carts as they're rolling them in, you know.
They wipe down the carts too.
Oh, yeah, but not until I throw up on them again. Like, Jesus Christ, I have
They're
seen-
taking it pretty serious here.
Ugh. Well, hey, it's good they're taking it serious where you're at. I don't know what
Yeah.
I kind of sort of stocked up before shit went down in China. And,
I've been stocked up, but yeah, I've always stocked up. I'm a prepper.
Mm-hmm.
I have food, I have toilet paper, I have pet supplies, I have everything I need to lock myself in this house for the next year. I don't have to leave.
No.
Except I have to go to work. For some reason, they think I'm an essential employee. Bastards.
Yeah, just because you're a nurse.
Who'd have thought?
Right?
I didn't bother stocking up for anything, but I'm still getting paid, and there's a local delivery guy, so I'm set for any shit I need. There have been businesses though crashing around me. A lot of the restaurants I used to frequent are completely done at this point.
All closed.
Some of them with until further notice type thing. Some of them just completely fucking gone. The delivery guy actually is going to be shutting down soon.
Your province didn't give them stimuluses to keep them going until they can reopen?
Our stimuluses are only for people who have lost their jobs.
But your province, the provincial stimulus doesn't include them?
A
No,
murderer
we
has
got,
to murder before he gets arrested. You have to get fired before you get the stuff.
Exactly. We've
It's how
got
it is.
$2,000 a month going to anybody who has lost their jobs because of this
Yeah,
shit.
that's federal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking provincial.
I don't know if we actually have anything provincial beyond that.
Yeah, that's Canada, not America. They don't really have much local power compared to us.
I'm in Canada, and our
Oh, shit.
provincial government had set up a stimulus for businesses to keep them afloat so that they don't go under while waiting to be able to reopen. It's a provincial thing.
Oh,
Okay,
I automatically assumed Canadian government was just inferior all around. My bad.
Well, it is. Like, don't confuse yourself about that.
Right.
I'll have to mention that to the delivery guy though. So I don't run a business, so I don't know about the business stimulus plans.
Have them check your provincial government site. It should be on there if your province is doing it.
Yeah, it
our
might be
provinces.
something for him to look into. I ain't doing the work for him.
Well, yeah.
I pay him. I ain't working for him. I
don't
would
know.
prefer though if I could continue to have a delivery guy, so I will point him that way.
I don't think we're in the same province, but yeah, you'd have to check your local one, or he will have to check his local one.
Yeah, you're out near Jimmy, right?
I'm like 2 blocks away from him.
Oh shit, really?
He's literally down the street.
Fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, I think there's different laws between us. But I don't run a business, so I haven't looked into any of the business stimulus plans for shit like this.
I don't either. It was just something our illustrious gentleman currently running our provincial government have pointed out that they are doing this for brownie points.
I mean, during a time like this, you kind of need those brownie points, you know?
Right.
Oh, look how good fucking Doug Ford looks right now.
Jesus.
6 months ago, half the country was calling that guy a fucking moron. Now, he's one of the fucking heroes during this crisis.
Right?
Yeah. Especially as a politician, but also as anyone else. You gotta maintain that image.
Well, look at Kenny. 6 months ago, people were Jason Kenny.
Oh,
6 months ago, people were calling him a fucking moron. Today, they're still calling him a fucking moron.
Well, yeah, because I don't know a lot of specifics of the guy, but he went from being criticized to being not heard about, which doesn't really improve your standing, right?
Well, he gave $4 billion to the oil company a few days before the oil company laid off 150,000 men.
I mean, it's not his fault that they didn't use the money he gave properly.
Right, because they needed it.
It's his fault that he misplaced his money in a drastic way. But can you really call him a retard because of that?
Yes.
I mean,
yes, you can.
I guess, like in a technical, down to the definition of the word type fashion, but
right. That money was supposed to go to keep those men employed, so that they didn't have to do all the stimulus shit and be a further drain on the economy.
Before
we don't know where it went.
Canada. This is Canada. Our healthcare is free. We don't need jobs.
All right, guys. I have to take off here.
Yay.
Well, it was good having you on Doomed. I was surprised I was able to get you right off the bat, and I'm even more surprised you stayed so long.
That's no problem, man. So
yeah, it was definitely good having you. You have yourself a good night.
Yeah, you too. Nice meeting you all, and I'll see you next time.
Don't get coofed on.
You too.
Right. You heard that, cunts. He said next time.
Oh, fuck
right.
yes, I'm hard.
Take care.
Amanda, I would order stuff for pickup or delivery because we have no contact delivery, but I don't want to wait 3 weeks to get a package of toilet paper. That's how far behind our deliveries are.
That's why I love my delivery guy. 15 minutes. He'll show up with food. He'll show up with fucking toilet paper if I need it.
I don't need toilet paper. I have so much toilet paper, it's not even funny. And I got
Let's
people, oh, you're
remember-
one of those. No, I didn't have to drain the shelves or wait for something to happen. I was prepared before it happened.
I had a delivery guy pick up Easter chocolate for my kid.
I don't think you've ever seen my candy drawer.
Guys, let's remember, though, in the wake of all this bullshit, of all this retardation, let's remember who the real retards are in all of this. A bunch of stupid, fucking, emaciated chinks on the other side of the world who decided to play God in a biolab.
Anthony, I just put the stream of water to keep your jacket from sharing. I'm a goddamn sniper.
Okay, dear. I'm guessing Poe got
Got it pretty much in the hoop.
All right, I'm not sure what that was. But yeah, I feel like we do have a little bit of blame to put on China. And I would like to reiterate, make very clear, like double down on the fact that it is not your average Chinese citizen. It is not your average Asian person in whichever country you might abide in.
So it's only a little bit racist.
Well, when I say China, I mean specifically the Chinese government.
I blame all of China. I'm the racist one. Blame me if we get demonetized.
Motherfucker, we weren't demonetized from the first couple words.
Oh, shit. Cool.
But no, I do think, and again, do not just blame any Asian person you see. I do think there was a little bit of dishonesty from the Chinese government. I do think they kind of played with some numbers. I do think they were maybe a little less than forthright with how many of their people were getting ill and dying.
So, if you see Jinping in person, I think he would probably sound a little bit racist.
I mean, should we really care if we offend Xi Jinping?
I mean, it depends. Are we in China when we do it? Because then we're going to care a lot.
I'm gonna
Like,
give.
nobody's going to know, but
if I ever find myself in any situation where I know I'm gonna meet that chubby little fuck ass, I'm gonna carry a giant pot of fucking honey with me. Not a jar of honey, not the plastic jars of honey you get in the store. Real, like, ceramic pot of honey like you find in the cartoons. Give them a ceramic pot of red honey, or of honey with a red t-shirt. Give it to them, tell them to take it.
No, I'm gonna be completely honest. Whether it's the Winnie the Pooh looking motherfucker over there, whether it's the fucking orange haired troll you guys got, whether it's the pussy we got over here, I will face any world leader in the ring. That is an open challenge. If you run a country, I will face you in the ring.
just make sure you don't speak moistly.
Oh, except for Putin. Except for Putin.
He'd kick your ass.
Yeah, he'd beat the shit out of me. But anyone else?
But if you meet the Canadian leader here, make sure you don't speak moistly. His words.
I would
Speak moistly.
right into his ears.
Moistly.
It'd be disgusting and sexy at the Same time.
Say the N-word. Snoopy.
It's just disgusting.
Snoopy.
Like molasses slipping through your butt crack. Holy shit.
Snoopy.
Anyway, I think at the point where I'm having sexual fights with all of the world leaders, we should probably wrap up. I would like to say thank you
idea.
to Undoomed for showing up. I would also like to thank the other two people I've had tonight, Samaj Zed and Little Miss Anonymous. And that is the end of the broadcast, cunts. Tune in tomorrow when I will not be here.
Woo!